All right, I figured I'd go through some of the stuff I've learned over the years commuting by bike in Toronto. Getting into it, the thing I tend to be the most vocal about, right hooks. A right hook can occur when a driver makes a right turn next to a cyclist that is proceeding straight on the inside. Well-informed bike lane design should do everything it can to mitigate the risk of right hooks, but often it is an afterthought. It is important to note that in Toronto, like most regions with bike lanes on the inside of potentially turning drivers, the driver is to yield to cycling through traffic on the inside. Many drivers don't know this. I obtained my driver's license over 20 years ago, and bike lanes like this didn't exist, and there's been little education out there to inform existing drivers of these changes. Do not trust that any driver will yield. If riding on a road without bike lanes or with simple painted lanes, then you can take the lane and pass turning traffic on the outside, which is the left of the car in our case. Or you can wait behind the turning driver if it isn't safe to pass on the outside. If riding in a protected bike lane that doesn't allow you to pass on the outside and funnels you to the inside of potentially turning drivers, then it's best to try and not enter an intersection alongside a vehicle if you can help it. Try gauging your spacing and be prepared to cede your right of way if the driver isn't paying attention. If a driver is already waiting to turn, proceed slowly and carefully. You can see if the driver is already yielding to pedestrians and use that potentially as like a shield, but many drivers will push far into the turn such that there is little room to pass on the inside safely. This has the added effect of rendering the driver's mirrors kind of useless. Left hooks can also occur on one-way streets like Adelaide, or with bidirectional bike lanes and mixed-use paths that are sidewalk adjacent. You can think of Eglinton West, Lakeshore by the Humber, or the Waterfront Trail at Carlaw. In these cases, you'll want to pay attention to left-turning drivers. For these bidirectional paths, you may be able to use oncoming traffic as a shield. I mentioned passing turning traffic on the outside. If you're doing this from a painted bike lane, this means you'll have to change lanes. Signaling a lane change is good, but it is not as important as checking that the way is clear first. Signaling your intent doesn't give you the right of way. Check to see that it's clear. I do a shoulder check, which you can see in my videos when the camera angle shifts a little to the left. Shoulder checking is far, far more important than signaling. And if you can only do one, it's checking that the way is clear, that you have to prioritize. Another tip is to be aware of silhouetting. Know where the sun is in the sky. I commute into the core from the east, which means the sun is at my back in the morning. This means that when I'm heading west, drivers facing east may struggle to see me. This is important if they're turning left. It's the opposite in the afternoon. For cyclists headed east in the mornings, drivers also headed east may struggle to see you. Apply additional caution, use daytime lights if you can. If cycling next to heavy traffic, always be mindful of gaps forming in the traffic, as this could be drivers letting other turning drivers through. Cars will block lines of sight, and a turning driver may not be aware of a cyclist in a bike lane, for example. Now, locking up a bike. I have simple rules. The main one is never lock up something that you can't afford to lose. Most practical bike locks can be cut with a portable angle grinder in minutes, if not seconds. The goal isn't to make your setup theft-proof, but rather to make it the least convenient to steal. Use a beater, lock up in a conspicuous area close to other bikes that would be easier or more desirable to steal. Use a two-cut shackle U-lock as well as some sort of additional lock, whether it's a cable, another U-lock, for example, for the front wheel. Ensure that you pass the lock through the frame and rear wheel to whatever post you use. Make sure what you lock to is also secure. When in doubt, refer to Sheldon Brown. I'll put a link for that in the description below. So yeah, I hope these tips are actually handy for you. If I can do anything to help out others out there, I'm more than willing to try. So yeah, see you in the next one.